Hey y'all, it's Tara here. I'm gonna make this intro video really quick, but I shot these videos a year ago when I was building my camper van. I just never got to editing them till today. I thought it would be really helpful to have a tutorial on how to install a battery isolator. There weren't a lot of helpful videos on how to install a battery isolator on YouTube a year ago, so I thought it'd be nice to make one. If you do find this video helpful, please like, comment, subscribe. It does help me out a lot. Items to complete the battery isolator installation will be linked in the description below. These are affiliate links though, so I receive a small percentage if or when you buy through those links at no cost to you. So if you want to support me, you can buy through those links, or you can like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all, let's get to that video. Today I am going to install the smart battery isolator into the van. When I was researching my van electric, somebody recommended this in one of their blogs, and I went ahead and bought it without even knowing really what it did. Since I've had it for about 3 months, and I've had plenty of time to research it and along with the other electrical system, and I do feel comfortable talking about it now. So essentially what a smart battery isolator does is it charges your auxiliary batteries using your starter battery while you're driving. That is really handy if it is cloudy for a couple days, or if you're in an area with a lot of smoke, such as wildfires are burning nearby. It enables you to still have a system while you're driving around. You're charging your batteries as you go, and you don't have to rely purely on shore power or on your solar power. We do not have a hookup for shore power, so having another option was very important. So we have solar. In addition, I wanted another way of charging the battery. It doesn't take a lot of expertise to install it, as long as you follow the directions really closely, and it doesn't really cost a lot. I forget how much it exactly cost, but I want to say it was around 100 something, and it's very simple. So the one that I bought and was recommended to get is the Keyline chargers ISO Pro 140. This is a smart battery isolator that's 140 amps. What comes with this is a couple things. Got zip ties here. You have this long red cable that is going to run from your positive terminal on your starter battery to your battery isolator, and then to your auxiliary batteries, so that's why it's so long. It also comes with a shorter black cable for grounding your system. It comes with some battery terminals, comes with some ring terminals, and then this is the smart battery isolator. This is the product. I mean, it's very small, very compact. And so it has a back panel, and under it is this is your grounding. This is your grounding cable right here, and then these are your 2 points that you want to screw in from like your starter and your auxiliary battery. So this is the starter battery point, this is the auxiliary battery point that you want to screw to once you have those cables made. It also comes with very easy to follow directions. Something I bought in addition to the smart battery isolator here was 2 circuit breakers, 2 inline circuit breakers. These are 150 amps. In the directions and online, they say it's not necessary to have any circuit breakers or fuses in line. Having this is a good safety precaution if anything did happen. I do have these in line to protect the batteries and the battery isolator. It's cheap. I don't remember how much they cost, but it's good to have those, and those go in line, like I said, so the wire goes in here and goes out the other end. And so that is the battery isolator. So what you do is you hook, from the starter battery, you hook up a positive wire to the positive terminal and run that to a circuit breaker, the 150 amp circuit breaker. You run that in there in line, and then to your positive start battery terminal right here. It has it on the bottom, which is nice and handy. So you run that to that, screw it in with a ring terminal, and then it comes out the other side right here with another ring terminal and goes to another 150 amp circuit breaker and goes to your auxiliary battery. I will include the videos that I followed, as well as the blog that recommended the battery isolator, so you guys can kind of do your own research on that. I'm not an expert in this, but if you guys do choose to purchase one of these and install it, always do your own research. But yeah, I am going to install this now, so I'll take you along. So there's a couple things you need to know if you have a Ford Transit. The battery is actually not inside of the engine compartment. It's actually under the driver's side seat. And it's kind of easy to get to. You just have to move the seat up and back. So the positive terminal is near the front of the van and the negative terminal is near the back of the van. So you constantly have to be moving the seat up and back. So be expecting that. So there is a video on YouTube from Ford and they show you how to access that battery compartment. I will put that in the description below. That's what I used in order to figure out how to get to this freaking battery. It actually wasn't that hard. It was just a little more intimidating. So if you do have a Ford Transit, that is where your battery lives. You need to unscrew a couple screws to get to that battery, take that cover off. We'll just set up some vocabulary real quick too. So the starter battery is your car battery, the battery that comes with your vehicle. Your auxiliary battery, what I'll be calling the auxiliary battery, is the batteries that you put into the vehicle for your camper. You want to disconnect the negative wire that goes from the starter battery. That makes the whole system okay to touch. Make sure it's not touching any metal, just like disconnect it and like put it somewhere. Maybe wrap a little bit of tape around it so it's not touching anywhere. So the next thing you want to do is mount that circuit breaker. I did the 150 amp circuit breaker in the back cover of the battery isolator. You want the battery isolator and that circuit breaker to be close to your starter battery. Generally you want your fuses and stuff to be closer to the batteries, just so keep that in mind. I put my battery isolator and circuit breaker right on the counter, the bottom of the counter near the driver's side seat, so that's near the battery. So you want to mount those, and then you can start working on measuring those wires from the positive battery bank, from the starter battery to the circuit breaker. They provide you with a pretty long red 4-gauge wire, so you'd use that to measure from your positive post on your battery, your starter battery, to your circuit breaker. You want to measure the distance of wire that goes from the circuit breaker to the smart battery isolator. There are posts that you would attach to using a ring terminal on the smart battery isolator. Underneath it has a start battery, and then I forget what the other thing said, but it's pretty clear which one you want to connect to. If you connect the other way around, essentially you'll be doing the reverse of what you want to happen. So your auxiliary batteries will be charging your starter battery. We do not want that. So make sure you look at those posts at the bottom and locate which one that you need to connect to. Measure out those wires, and I used 4-gauge wire that was provided. And then using your wire cutters, you cut the wire and strip the wire. The ring terminal, there should already be a ring terminal on there, so you shouldn't need to put that one on. But then strip the one going into the circuit breaker and put it into the circuit breaker. Put the provided ring terminal on the wire going to the smart battery isolator. That takes a ring terminal. Don't install the wires to the starter battery yet. Just leave that off. Leave that positive wire off for right now. But you can connect the wire going into the circuit breakers and into the smart battery isolator. So you want to ground the smart battery isolator at this point using it's a really small black wire that comes off of the battery isolator. So you want to ground that to your vehicle. So next, run that red wire from the smart battery isolator toward your auxiliary batteries. Then put another close to your auxiliary batteries. Again, you want these circuit breakers to be close to your batteries. So somewhere near your auxiliary batteries, you want to mount that circuit breaker, and you want to mount that in line. Mount that and connect that circuit breaker from that red wire. Then from the circuit breaker, it should again have a ring terminal at the end, so use that ring terminal to your advantage, and that will go to your auxiliary battery. So from the circuit breaker to the auxiliary battery. So before I hook up that red wire coming from the smart battery isolator, I disconnect the negative battery on the auxiliary batteries just in case. You just want to be safe. And then you hook the smart battery isolator wire up to the positive post. Make sure you already have grounded your auxiliary batteries. So this is important. You have to ground your auxiliary batteries to your vehicle. So make sure that connection is solid before you reconnect anything. So once you have your smart battery isolator wire connected to your auxiliary batteries, you can then reconnect your negative wire to your auxiliary batteries to connect that circuit. And then you want to go ahead and connect that positive wire that goes from the circuit breaker, that first circuit breaker, to the starter battery. Then you can finally connect that negative wire that is going from your starter battery. Just at that point, that connects the whole system and everything should work at that point, and that should be the end of your battery isolator installation. You do want to test to see if everything is working all right before you turn on the vehicle. You want to test if you do have a proper ground on the auxiliary battery. So at this point, you want to start up your vehicle, and if you have a voltage meter reader, I don't know the exact terminology, but if you do have a voltage reader, you want to see if it goes above 13. That means it is charging, hopefully. If there is a spike, that means, that's what happened with mine, that means it's all good. And that means your battery isolator is charging your auxiliary batteries using your starter battery. So that's good news. It was really easy, honestly, and I hope I explained that well. I'm not the best teacher at things, but I hope I explained that well. It's really easy. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Again, I'll put all those videos and the blog that I use that recommended the battery isolator in the description below, so check those out too. Always do your own research, of course. I did this using other resources, so you guys use other resources as well. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in another van build video. Bye.